What would you tell your young self?
Don't worry that you don't know what your job's going to be. You're going to be okay. I would
You're
tell her
going to be
that.
more than okay.
I would tell her that. No, I was always worried that I wasn't. I was like, you don't know if you're going to be like, I always thought I had to be like a doctor or a lawyer. And then I was like, but what I love is theater.
This is Open Book with Jenna Hager, and I am so excited to have you here today. Little Women is one of my very favorite books.
Me too.
I mean, it must have been, but was this like the biggest, most daunting task?
Yes. I mean, it was sort of twofold. I mean, the first part of it was, I grew up with a book. I love the book. I read it and then I reread it the way you do with books when you're a kid. It's like a ritual. It's familiar. It feels good. And then when I read it as an adult, and I hadn't read it since I was like 15, and I read it at 30, and I couldn't believe how modern it was. I felt like I'd never read it before, and there was lines that stood out to me kind of like as if they were written in neon, and I was like, I have to make a movie out of this because this book is so much more complicated and spiky than I had remembered. And I know you were saying you're reading it right now. There's a lot in there that's just kind of fascinating, and in any case, it was daunting, but I felt like if I just stuck to what I loved, which was the book, and then also Louisa May Alcott's other writing and her journals, her letters, and her other books, that was sort of where I could rest my hat, because I was like, okay, as long as I'm sticking with her, then I'm safe.
So she led you through the whole thing.
She led me through the whole thing. I realized sort of like as a girl, my hero was Jo March. And I didn't even know who Louisa May Alcott was, really. I didn't care because I believed in the fictional world, and so Jo was my hero. And then as an adult, I've realized that my hero is Louisa. Louisa is the coolest.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you which March sister you are, which I kind of knew you were a Jo.
Yeah.
So it was like, do I even ask?
Yeah.
But the other ones are so interesting too.
So interesting. Also, I feel like as you read it, you find yourself in different ones. Like, I actually think Meg's story is really fascinating. I'd completely forgotten that Meg, like after she gets married and has kids, there's these wonderful chapters about like her being like really mad at her husband because he's gone all day and she's stuck at home with twins, and she's like doesn't have enough money and like can't make it's so relatable, and it's so, you feel like you could have written it yesterday. Amy was the one I understood more than I've ever understood before, and also was for me the character that I wanted most to give her due.
Yeah, because we kind of think of Amy as maybe spoiled or narcissistic slightly.
Right.
But my daughter, it's so weird. I'm reading it to Mila, who's 6, and she's like, I kind of get her, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, she's sensitive.
I'm so glad.
I know. So and I cannot wait. This is going to be the first kind of grown-up movie that I'm going to show them.
That's so exciting. No, I mean, I ground the movie. I change the timeline. I start when they're grown up, and then I go back to girlhood. And I did that for a couple of reasons, one of which was I wanted to create this kind of ache of what's already gone. And, spoiler alert, but like, I guess, once they're all in their separate lives, they're never all together again. Like, they already had their last day together and they didn't know it. And there's something about that just, just killed me. And I wanted to make something that had both the coziness of childhood and then that ache of, it's gone. And I feel like as women, we're always walking with our younger selves. We're always sort of answering to who we were to answer where we're going. And so I wanted to create a structure where the girlhood and the adulthood are talking to each other.
What would you tell your young self?
I would tell her, don't worry that you don't know what your job's going to be. You're going to be okay. I would
You're
tell
going
her
to be
that.
more than okay.
I would tell her that. No, I was always worried that I wasn't. I was like, you don't know if you're going to be like, I always thought I had to be like a doctor or a lawyer. And then I was like, but what I love is theater. Amy, the character of Amy, great character, totally unsung.
Totally.
Yeah. And in my movie, I have to say Florence Pugh, who plays Amy, she kills it. She's like, she's amazing. Also, I think it's interesting that the character of Amy, who is the character that most clearly says what she wants.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
She wants a different nose, and she goes for it.
Yep, she totally, I mean,
and by the way,
should've,
for some reason, kids can really relate with that.
Totally.
Relate to
totally.
that.
And I think, you know, for so long that we were like, oh, we don't like her. And now we're finally like, no, I like that.
I have to ask you 5 quick.
Okay,
quick
ask
fire.
me.
So it actually means quick, which it never does. Your favorite book of the year?
Oh my God, my favorite book. Sally Rooney's books, 2 books, Normal People and Conversations with Friends. Oh my God, I love those books.
If you were stranded on a desert island, what would you choose to take? Which book?
I mean, am I allowed to take complete works of Shakespeare? Is that a book?
No, that's so weird because somebody just told me that.
Really?
Answer. Yeah, you're not alone in that. But we would find you on the island and you would be speaking in a different dialect. And then we would be like, Greta can really do it all.
I would be speaking in iambic pentameter and you guys would be like, she's awful. She's awful. Thank God she's on a desert island.
She really can do it all. Mystery or romance?
Mystery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or neither. What book would you adapt next if you could?
That's really hard to answer because I've had a few different ideas, but
put it into the universe. You know what Oprah says.
Okay. I would love to do like a real genre book, like a Stephen King type of thing. I would like to do that.
Stephen King.
I don't know what it is, but I would love to do something that was like kind of had like a horror bent or a suspense bent or a thriller situation because I think there are really good movies to be made out of books like that.
I think there are too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.